Thank you so much for the time which is given to me for giving a presentation about self-repair. As you know, our body and the human's body can repair itself to some extent, but there are some limitations. For example, when a wound uh, takes shape on our body after a couple of days, that wound could be repaired by itself, and that's a natural process in our bodies. But the point is that there are some limitations for repair. And for example, when the vessels of a person's heart is clogged with fat or some material like that, then that heart needs to be replaced by another one. But you cannot replace it by a mechanical equipment or, for example, by another person's heart. Uh, there should be, or there must be, a heart which is similar exactly to the original heart, which can work properly. And that's a really interesting topic, especially in the between among scientists these days. And or another example is that when a person's skin is burned, that problem could be healed, or that disease or ill could be healed with the passage of time. But there are some limitations, as I told you. But there are some special creatures, such as lizards or salamanders, that they can, for example, heal some parts of their body completely. For example, if limbs of a lizard would be removed after a couple of maybe days or weeks, uh, that creature can find or can have a new one completely, and that's really miraculous. But this is not true for humans. But there is a special time in humans' lifespan that they can do the same. They can have the same scenario, and it refers to the time when a person is an embryo. In that period of time, that person or that child or embryo can develop new legs, or I don't know, heart, or whatever you can imagine. And that's really interesting and, or let's say, astonishing. And that's why that these days scientists are thinking about keeping some genes from embryos, because those genes could come in handy in the future of that person for his life, for saving his life. For example, as I told you, when a person's skin is burned completely, adding some genes which are relevant to the embryo, to the skin of that adult person, could help that person to develop new skins, because they have some special features. And also there is a specific phrase which is called living tissue, and it means that some material that has these special effects. And the same scenario happens when it comes to spinal cord. That's a really typical problems in all of the world. That, for example, some people have some problems in their spinal cords, and there is a, for example, problem that they cannot transmit the signals from their mind, their brain, to their all of the parts of their bodies. And even these days, you can see in the streets that some people are paralyzed, and that problem refers to their spinal cord. Scientists are trying to find a solution for this problem, and they conducted an experiment on a mouse, and they tried to fix this problem on this creature. As a matter of fact, they tried to fill this gap in the spinal cord of a mouse with a living tissue. And in doing so, and after the process and experiment, some problems of that mouse uh, got solved. I mean, uh, that mouse could move one of his back legs, and that was really interesting. And but the point is that another leg of that mouse couldn't work, because when they try to use a living tissue for connecting the spinal cord, there is no any specific route for connecting wires. Spinal cord is similar to to a cable, which includes lots of wires, and every wire needs to be connected with its counterparts. But when the scientists tried to use living tissue, they couldn't handle this situation, and they couldn't connect all of the wires to their counterparts exactly. That's why they try to connect these randomly. and as a result, could work. And in the about doing this process, or by doing more experiments and putting into the action, and I think that's really interesting and could help a lot of illnesses. Thank you so much.